We need to look at education differently. We need to look at the industry differently and the ways of attracting more people into the industry differently. I've always loved the countryside. I just loved the feeling of this immense sense of freedom of just being in a huge landscape. So to be involved in a job where is predominantly outdoors is just wonderful. Surveying for me was just a natural transition from school for somebody who also loved mathematics, loved maps. Nobody told me about it. So I was in banking until I was in my mid-20s. I met someone who suddenly told me about civil engineering and surveying. Took me on site, working with maps and working with coordinate systems. It was almost a dream come true. So I left banking, which was terribly boring, and found the best job in my life. I walk around the reservoir, that's a dam, that's a feat of engineering. Every single path, every wall that was ever built is there in a certain place because of us, because of surveyors, because of engineers, because of the construction industry. And yet I don't think many people think about the countryside like that. I remember some years ago, as I was working on the Building Schools for Future programme for the UK government, being in a school and saying, maths is all outside. Maths is here in this room, it's everywhere, but outside, just get outside, you can do big maths. But how disappointing when you find out that not one child in my whole career of doing that job knew what a land surveyor was, had ever heard of the title. It wasn't just the children who didn't know about surveying, it was the teachers too, and why should they? So I guess that my big changing career came from thinking that if I want to see my profession flourish and continue in years to come, then I have a personal responsibility to make sure that every child knows what a land surveyor is. Design Engineer Construct started as one day to engage children, just to have some fun. But you soon realise that it has to be a curriculum that has value. It has to mean something to universities. So I think the challenge was always to create something that had legacy, that gave the children the what next. You do a workshop with us, great, but what next? And giving teachers a tool that they can use to actually instill this sense of purpose in where will you go in your career, and how will all those STEM subjects, your English, your history, your geography, how will it all come together? And they're so ambitious for the future. They do believe that they are world changers. I think they see that the built environment is absolutely about change. It's absolutely about the planet. They see their role in that. They see their responsibility in that. The institution has a responsibility to its members to support them in initiatives to help educate the next generation of surveyors. And I think it's really important as we move forward into next year that we are doing everything we can to create all the tools that industry professionals need to actually go into schools, to support apprentices in colleges, for example, to make it, to become that incredible professional that we know that they are capable of.
My journey began researching land surveying as a module in DEC course. There was a 5-day work experience available, so I did that at Site Surveying Services. There was a couple of people from Jacobs who came in to the school to talk to the younger students in DEP. We just started talking. He said there was a job opportunity, so I applied for it and I got the job. I think my first week within Jacobs, I started going on site, and I realised this was a job for me when I was in the middle of summer in a farmer's field with a pole, going, oh, this is better than an office.
My predecessor, Bats, worked very, very hard to add value through collaboration. So now that everybody's talking to each other and everybody's hopefully on the same page, our mission has to be to tackle the education issue. I think we can all agree that education is the most important thing in the world, not just for our children, but for everyone. And making that space for education has never been more critical. So I take that responsibility full on. I'm excited by it, and I look forward to not just 12 months, but many years to come, where education is absolutely our mission and that we achieve it.